So, two Alexander Nevskys, the Russian Tier 10 light cruiser making its first appearance in Key of the Seas. Smoland and Summers from Tango. They are taking a very traditional line. In fact, every single ship, well, every single cruiser on their team is a radar boat. I pity Sharkfresh and that Shimikaze. I hope he brought the 12k torps. Kurfürst and Kremlin from SRPSC, a Yoshino as well. Don't normally see the super cruisers at this stage of the tournament, but hey, let's see how well Tubi does. Yoshino, of course, my personal favourite of the super cruisers, but it is very much a sit back and burn everyone boat, which actually that might suit them if he can make it work. The only downer to Yoshino is that her armor layout's similar to Yamato, so she does have those slightly weak cheek spots to make a kiting angle a little bit trickier against a battleship. So, SRPSC, Denny Lisa in the Summers getting underway for point A, Schlaudraff in the Des Moines doing the same. They've got I am on a boat, yes he is, in the Stalingrad. Technically he's on a ship, not a boat, but let's not split hairs. Moving up to provide some backbone along with Tubi for long-range fire support. And they've got the Kremlin of heavy artillery providing the absolute, well, heavy artillery. Actually, yes, that is heavy artillery. I had to pass that for a second. Dr. Inferno in the Kurfürst moving up as well. Be interesting to see if he's gone secondary build or tank build in this tournament, because, well, we'll see. Conventional logic would say you went tank build in a Curryverse at tournament level play, but you never know. We might see some manly action going on, and Sharkfresh leading the way out. We'll see if he goes to point C or if we see another shove round into the forbidden lines. I mean, seriously, they are forbidden. We even have a giant sign telling you that you're not meant to take battleships into this corridor. However, over on the Tango sides, the Salem of Otten making a fast dash. He might turn into sea, he might make a corridor run himself. He's got the Des Moines of Panzerfire Dave back him up, and the real son of Dad gets an early spot down the corridor and takes some early rounds there. Only scratch damage, no fires, but the Curryverse gets its own heavy artillery into play. And okay, 18,000 damage is a bit more than a scratch. Kremlin returns fire with the 18-inch guns. Again, Dr. Inferno side on, but he was actually aiming for tanks, trying to just overmatch through the Moskva's bow. 5,000 damage, not bad for the range, actually. Kremlin's guns aren't necessarily the best long range. We're starting to see some early exchanges of fire through point B as well. Kappa the Hutt having himself a little peek at point B there. Perhaps a smidge early for that, but he seems to have gotten away with it in one piece. And both of the Nevskys, Anima 30 and Lucar, starting to swap rounds with the Stalingrad. And one of the problems with the Nevsky is that her forward gun arts aren't great. So yowzers, I am on a boat, takes a solid hit there, and he's got the two Nevskys throwing high explosive at him as well. So has that turned into a fire? You saw those red traces coming off I am on a boat, by the way. That means he has got the Russian special captain Kuznetsov on board, and he's probably going to need Kuznetsov's emergency heal at this rate. 27,000, he's getting focused hard still by both the Nevskys, returns fire with the Stalingrad Sword's guns, firing armor piercing, looking to get that high angle shot, but he has got at least one and possibly two fires burning. Shots come in from the Stalingrad by Garfield, also using Kuznetsov. 10,000 health, 9,009, 9,007. Ducks behind the line, trying to defilade against the Nevskys, but there's absolutely no mercy for traitors to motherland here, and the Stalingrad is getting royally hammered. We're going to see a very quick early kill, and critically, it's going to take one of SRPSC's radar boats out of the equation. Tango smelling blood here. 600-0, and Kuznetsov hits the lifeboats. Possibly next stop Gulag? Maybe, comrade. Maybe. But at least takes advantage of that to get into point A. He is in the summer, so he's relatively stealthy, but he's also got a big pile of torpedoes coming his way. They aren't going to get there in time to block the cap, however. On the other hand, if he isn't careful, of course, he can't see these torpedoes, and we can. So he's running an orbit of the cap point. He is probably going to clear the track. Probably. There we go. Klutz deploys some smoke to provide some more cover for the Nevskis as they move in. And yep, there we go. Dailisa safely off the torpedo track and barreling in. But heavy artillery in a solid blocking position there. He'd like to have the radar of the Stalingrad at this point, I suspect. But, well, unfortunately, I am on a ship. I am in a lifeboat. He got caught early, focused down, and there was pain. Toby, meanwhile, playing an absolutely textbook Yoshino game. They're holding his range, holding the angles, but he can't get a target. Klutz has dropped an absolute blinder of a smoke screen there, and the SRPSC boats on this side can't see anything to shoot at the moment. Both of the Nevskis are behind the Shimakaze smoke. The Ohio is moving up as well with the Mighty Postman, and there goes the radar from the Des Moines. Was Klutz too close? 13, 12, 10, 10, 1. No, he just scrapes the edge of the radar, and now Schlauder finally has something to aim at. But oof! Ohio proceeds to delender the Des Moines right through the side. He gave just that bit too much angle, and we see a dev strike. But of course, 18-inch guns don't benefit from smoke the way that 6 and 8-inch guns do. So the two Nevskis now switch their fire onto the Kremlin, taking full advantage of that smoke screen. But Tubby is working his way round on the flanks, and I think if the range is there, yes, Tubby managed to get far enough round to the side that he might have been able to pick up on the Nevskis. Shots coming down in the meantime. The Mighty Postman takes some early salvos from the Yoshino's 12-inch guns, takes a couple of fires. He's letting them burn for the moment. Meanwhile, sneaky, Denny Lisa, once again, he did his job in point A, and now he's rolling his way into point B, looking for another cap. Drops his 3 quad torpedoes, but he might fight a little cautiously. He is in radar range by Garfield. Now, the question is, he's going to tip his presence with point B. The question is, does Garfield have a radar set ready to go? We'd be seeing the sweep. Yep, there's the sweep. Denny Lisa gets immediately spotted. Guns out from by Garfield. Denny was lucky that was armor piercing in the breach and not high X. Torpedoes are running, and by Garfield is going to know full well that those are coming. He knows what the Summers has got on its main deck, so he just sidles out of the way of the obvious torpedo corridor and misses a fish supper there. Meanwhile, oh dear, Otten gets the kill, but in reality, Frank's forwards being focused again, multiple boats, the Salem, the Des Moines. That is 18 rapid-fire 8-inch guns coming at him, and I think even Cup of the Hut was getting in on the action there as well. So, point B turning into a meat grinder. Neither side can safely get in, and neither side is going to particularly survive this either. But over at point A, the Nevskis and the Ohio succeed in burning down heavy artillery's Kremlin, which now means that Tubby is out here on his own, fighting 4-1 odds. He's dropped the long-range torpedoes from the Yoshino. He may well decide that discretion is the better part of valor here and aim to disappear. He does not want to stay spotted in front of the Mighty Postman's 18-inch guns. So, yowzers. That has suddenly gone very, very badly wrong for SRPSC. However, Tubby's turning east. I wonder if he's going to try a countercharge. In fact, he's now coming through east-northeast, maybe right the way around to full northeast. Well, either he's looking for a second shot, or he's going to try some maximum range kiting. Bold move, considering what the Ohio's guns are capable of doing to even a supercruiser, but let's stay with him for a bit and see what happens. Klutz finishes off the cap. There's no opposition to take it away from him. So, let's see. Right now, SRPSC are badly down on health, badly down on boats, critically. Can the Mighty Postman stay and provide enough of a deterrent to prevent Tubby getting any ideas? I think he will. Tubby is apparently content just to observe and report. Of course, he's probably aware that the Summers is over, so he doesn't want to particularly attract attention either. The rest of SRPSC are kind of pulling in their horns. They weren't able to stop point C capping, unfortunately. The Salem of Otten was able to sneak into the edge of the control point through the channel and very, very cleverly, actually, take advantage of this little bit of water here to both stay sheltered and get into the control point in cover, sees the torpedoes come past, and is now hopefully thinking he's safe to move out. And clonks the hull ever so slightly in the process. He may be content to stay there for the moment, however, because he's got a nice big Moskva broadside to shoot at as Lucasius tries to push up to the west with the rest of his team. And oof, that is not going to take long. Des Moines 8-inch super heavy AP with us autoloaders behind it. Yes, it's a Salem. It's a Des Moines class boat, and Otten gets a very, very comprehensive kill there for his second scalp of the day. Dr. Inferno, meanwhile, pushes forward and again just comes into range. Now we're seeing secondary engagement off the Curryverse there. It is within standard secondary range. That doesn't really tell us what Dr. Inferno has built, but all of a sudden it's looking bad for him. He has been flanked by Panzerfire Dave and Kappa the Hutt. Pan-European torpedoes, of course, may not do very much individually, but when you're dumping 8 of them over the side every 90 seconds, it does tend to add up rather rapidly. Of course, a Des Moines auto-loading 8-inch adds up even faster at this range. So, Panzerfire coming in hard. Let's see if he can manage to make it stick. He's still throwing the AP into the Curryverse upper works. Dr. Inferno backs up, at which point the real son of Dad comes round the corner. Denny Lisa gets caught by the Summers of Klutz, and it's a smoke-on-smoke duel, but Sharp Fresh gets caught by Garfield's radar. Takes torpedoes in the process, but Klutz is probably going to be able to get shots out. There we go. So the Summers' guns are coming into play as well. Of course, Shark is now 2-on-1. Meanwhile, Dr. Inferno is getting relentlessly hammered down, and yep, here come the Swedish meatballs. And Tubby, yikes, Tubby must have pulled the trigger. He got caught, and yeah, that's kind of a foregone conclusion when there are 2 Nevskis and an Ohio shooting at you. But game over, snap win to Tango, and yikes, grats to them. That was emphatically done.